DETV News is powered by DART, Delaware's transit service. Moving forward.
Tonight, a breakthrough for Wilmington crime rates. Shootings are down, but the city's murder count took a sharp climb. We'll dive into the numbers and the city's plans to turn it around. Plus, a war of words in the Brandywine School District. The school board president faces serious allegations of unfair labor practices, what it could mean for your kids' education. And in sports, DeSean Jackson, former Eagles star, steps into a new role as head football coach at Delaware State University, aiming to turn the Hornets into MEAC contenders. Those stories and your weekend forecast and much more straight ahead. DETV News starts now. Welcome to DETV News. I'm Matt Ford. Here's what's making headlines today across the first state. As the new U.S. congressional session opens, Congress's first openly trans member, Sarah McBride here of Delaware, is raising concerns over Republicans prioritizing a bill targeting transgendered individuals. McBride described the GOP's focus on policies affecting only 0.6% of the population as perplexing, especially when pressing issues remain unaddressed. The proposed legislation aims to redefine Title IX based on biological sex, which could restrict trans rights in facilities and sports. Critics argue this strategy distracts from voters' primary concerns, such as the economy and democracy. And here at home today, Wilmington officials released the city's 2024 crime statistics this week. The report showed shootings dropped to their lowest level in 6 years and violent crime fell by 21% compared to 2023. Despite the improvements, the city recorded 24 murders last year. That's a 71% increase from the 14 killings last year, though a significant drop from the record 35 homicides back in 2017. Police reported 81 shootings in 2024 and 17 in the year's homicides were gun-related. 2 victims died from stabbings and 5 from assaults or strangulation. Police Chief Wilfredo Campos noted continued reductions in group-related violence, but said isolated incidents, including domestic disputes and altercations, contributed to last year's murders. Arrests have been made in over half of the cases. The department also highlighted ongoing efforts to improve public safety, such as community outreach programs and mental health initiatives. Former Governor John Carney has now taken office as mayor, with Campos continuing on as police chief. And as we just mentioned, Wilmington's newly elected mayor, treasurer, and city council members were sworn in Tuesday night at the Chase Center in Wilmington. Outgoing Governor John Carney took the mayoral oath alongside Treasurer Dwayne Sims and 13 council members, including newcomers Christian Wilhauer, Kobe Owens, and Alexander Hackett. The council approved rules for its 109th session, established committees, and created 2 new legislative staff positions emphasizing education advocacy. Yolanda McCoy was elected president pro tempore, while current staff members were reappointed. The council also plans to fill the chief of staff position after Mona Parik's departure. Also sworn in this Tuesday was Marcus Henry as Newcastle County Executive. Surrounded by a crowd that included former officials and Governor-elect Matt Meyer, Henry, who previously served as General Manager of Community Services and Director of Development at the Wilmington Housing Authority, its first African-American to hold this office. Henry said, quote, "This is a win for all young people of color aspiring to leadership." Henry emphasized the need for collaborative solutions to challenges like housing affordability, economic development, and public safety, declaring, quote, "Let's get to work." And finally, though it will only be for just 2 weeks, Bethany Hall Long took the oath of office as Delaware's 75th governor on January 7th, following a ceremony down in Dover led by President Judge Jan Jordan. She succeeds John Carney, who resigned to become mayor of Wilmington, as we mentioned. Hall Long, a descendant of former Governor David Hall, previously lost the November election to Matt Meyer. He is set to take office on January 21st. In her inaugural speech, she celebrated the legacy of Delaware's first female governor, Ruth Ann Minner. Outgoing Newcastle County Meyer beat Hall Long in the primary and went on to win the race. He takes office on January 21st. Shifting gears now, frightening moments down in Sussex County as a shelter-in-place advisory for residents near the Purdue plant in Georgetown was lifted Wednesday night after a chemical incident. Authorities say a supplier mistakenly mixed prussic acid into a caustic chemical tank, causing a smoke plume that has since dissipated. Now, the Delaware Emergency Management Agency initially issued a statewide alert shortly before 6:30 p.m., but it was later corrected to apply to only a half-mile radius around that plant on Savannah Road. The advisory was lifted for most residents by 8:30 that night, with nearby homes cleared just before 10 p.m. DENREC and local agencies are investigating this incident. Prussic acid is often used in food sanitation and can cause respiratory and eye irritation when released into the air. And Delaware State Representative Kevin Hensley has been charged with driving under the influence and second-degree vehicular assault. This following a November 9th crash down in Kent County. The Republican who represents the 9th District allegedly pulled out of a gas station when his vehicle was struck by another car, causing it to roll over. Police reported that Hensley appeared intoxicated with a blood alcohol content level of 0.142%. That's nearly double the legal limit. The other driver suffered lacerations. Attorney General Kathy Jennings emphasized that Hensley will be treated like any other defendant in the case. And Newcastle County Police are investigating a fatal hit and run that killed a pedestrian early Thursday near Newcastle Corporate Commons. Officers responded around 4 in the morning to Reed's Way, where they found a 54-year-old man struck by a vehicle that fled the scene. The victim was pronounced dead at Christiana Hospital, and police urge anyone with information or surveillance footage to call 302-395-8077 or email corey.belk@newcastlede.gov. And discarded smoking materials sparked a 2-alarm fire that damaged 3 townhomes in Glasgow Wednesday night. That fire broke out around 9:15 on Versailles Court in the Frenchtown Woods townhouses near Route 40. Flames spread to neighboring homes, prompting a second alarm 15 minutes later. Firefighters brought the blaze under control in about an hour and a half. No injuries were reported, but the Red Cross is helping displaced residents. And a house fire on Winsome Boulevard down in Camden, Wyoming, critically injured a child Tuesday evening. Fire crews responded to the blaze just after 5:45 p.m. and found heavy fire coming from the garage. Firefighters rescued the juvenile, who was airlifted to Nemours Children's Hospital in critical condition. 2 other children escaped uninjured. An adult and a firefighter sustained minor injuries. The Delaware State Fire Marshal's office said the fire started in the garage and caused about $100,000 in damage. The cause is under investigation. And state police, along with the FBI, have arrested a Wilmington man after uncovering a large drug distribution operation. Authorities say 33-year-old Guy Calloway was taken into custody Monday after a months-long investigation. Calloway apparently ran off during a raid on the 800 block of East 13th Street, but was later caught near the Brandywine River. Police say they seized a handgun, ammunition, drugs, and nearly $20,000 in suspected drug proceeds. Calloway, a convicted felon prohibited from owning firearms, is being held on $163,000 cash bond, facing multiple felony charges, including drug trafficking and weapons offenses. Downstate now, where a Seaford man has been convicted of raping a 12-year-old child. That's according to the Delaware Department of Justice. Fidel Chamorro Ramirez, who was 18 years old at the time of the crime, assaulted the child in their Seaford home on June 1st of 2023. On December 10th of 2024, he was found guilty of second-degree rape in Sussex County Superior Court. Chamorro Ramirez will be sentenced on February 7th, facing 10 to 15 years in prison. Staying in Sussex County, a 26-year-old Georgetown man has been sentenced to 45 years in prison for the 2022 murder of 38-year-old Paul McCarter. Kevin Shorter ambushed McCarter outside of Georgetown Royal Farms on September 7, 2022, and severely beat him with a metal baseball bat. McCarter died days later. Shorter, who pleaded guilty but mentally ill, was sentenced in December of 2024. And Bethany Beach police are asking for your help in finding 26-year-old Dylan Crew of Dagsboro. Crew has operated what's known as Coastline Contractors Group. He's wanted on 4 active warrants tonight. Charges include home improvement fraud over $100,000 and theft, involving a victim over 62 years old. Anyone with information on this is urged to call Bethany Beach Police at 302-539-1000, or you can email molly.ryan@cj.state.de.us. And a Delaware judge has denied a man's request to recover his horse's remains from a Felton landfill after the animal was killed in a hit and run. You may recall this story we told you last month. 34-year-old Brent McCarsey was riding his 9-year-old Clydesdale named Breeze in Cheswold, Delaware back on December 17th when a truck struck them both. The horse suffered severe injuries and had to be euthanized. Her body was taken to the landfill. Now, the owner of the horse filed a lawsuit seeking access to retrieve the remains of the horse, but was denied due to public safety concerns and landfill engineering risks. Chancellor Kathleen McCormick expressed sympathy for the man's love for his horse, but did rule that the dangers of excavation and potential precedent outweighed his request. The owner is considering an appeal in this case. And President Joe Biden has enacted a permanent ban on offshore oil and gas drilling along the majority of the U.S. coastline, including right here in Delaware. The decision safeguards 625 million acres of ocean from potential drilling, a move Biden described as essential for protecting marine ecosystems and coastal communities. Although largely symbolic, the ban utilizes authority from the Outer Continental Shelf Lands Act and cannot be easily reversed by future administrations. Coastal advocates praise the decision, emphasizing its significance for the economy and environment, while expressing concerns about existing drilling leases not covered by the protections. In more environmental news tonight, U.S. Wind subsidiary has filed an appeal in Delaware Superior Court challenging Sussex County Council's December 17th decision to deny a critical permit for a substation vital to its offshore wind project. The council's rejection, backed by concerns over local benefits, prompted U.S. Wind to argue that the denial lacked proper justification on January 6th. That's when Governor John Carney announced a new $128 million agreement with U.S. Wind, securing 150,000 annual renewable energy credits for Delaware and funding local projects. This partnership aims to enhance the state's renewable energy landscape despite ongoing regulatory hurdles. And good news for homeowners, the Delaware Department of Transportation is offering reimbursement for mailboxes that may have been damaged by snow plows. DelDOT says residents with mailboxes near the road can seek reimbursement through the state. To file a claim, call 1-877-277-4185, or you can email inscov@delaware.gov. And speaking of snow, there have been some rumblings of a second snowstorm coming this weekend. With that, let's check in with our Shakara Denise to find out if the rumors are true. Hey, Shakara.
Hey, Matt. We are going to have some flurries, but nowhere close to what we got earlier this week. What's up, DETV fam, and Happy New Year. Your favorite weather girl is back with sunshine and smiles to brighten your week. Let's jump right into your DETV weekend weather forecast. For Feel Good Friday, expect sunshine with a few clouds, highs around 37 degrees, and lows dipping to 26 degrees. It will be a great day for a brisk walk, and if you feel up to it, some hot chocolate in hand. On Saturday, cloudy skies will take the stage along with a few flurries or snow showers. But don't worry, it's just the perfect excuse to Netflix and chill. The highs will reach about 36 degrees, and it'll drop down to 24 degrees in the evening. Wrapping up the weekend on Sunday, the sun is back with higher temps in the 40s. Perfect for Sunday service or heading out with friends for brunch plans. There you have it, DETV fam. The forecast is looking to be cool, crisp, and ready to bring all the winter vibes. Stay warm, stay happy, and be well. Back to you, Matt.
Shakara, thank you so much. We'll see you next week. Turning now to education news, Delaware has significantly reduced educator shortages, reporting a 52% decrease in unfilled school district positions. That's according to the 2024 Delaware Excellent Educator Hiring Practices Survey. At the end of the hiring season, 259 roles remain vacant, comprising just 2.5% of the workforce. Secretary of Education Mark Holodick praised targeted hiring practices, while innovative programs like year-long teacher residencies and Grow Your Own grants have enhanced recruitment. Continued investment in mentorship is recommended to sustain this progress. Staying with education news, educators in Brandywine schools have formally accused Board President Ralph Ankerman of unfair labor practices amid stalled contract negotiations. In a filing with Delaware's Public Employee Relations Board, the Brandywine Education Association alleges that he acted in bad faith by making derogatory remarks about the union's bargaining team. With teachers working without a contract since the school year began, the district has until January 17th to respond to the charges. And the University of Delaware opened its new interdisciplinary science building, dubbed Building X, on January 8th, 7 years after a fire devastated McKinley Labs, costing over $143 million. This 4-story facility enhances research in brain science, human health, and quantum studies, accommodating more than 1,000 students each year. President Dennis Assanis hailed it as a, quote, blessing in disguise, fostering collaboration across disciplines. The building aims to advance science and support Delaware's healthcare workforce, with significant state funding aiding its construction. And from UD to Del State, Nick is here live tonight with the week's arguably biggest headline, and one of them in particular has made quite a splash. Hey, Nick.
Thanks, Matt. And we're going to start with a big day in Dover Wednesday as the university introduced a familiar face as the new Delaware State football head coach. Former Eagle and Pro Bowler DeSean Jackson took the podium and already brought the energy to the Hornets' nest.
Right now, the passion we coming, we had that meeting yesterday. What we bringing, what we going to steal on y'all, it's greatness, hard work. We ain't accepting nothing else, and it's not a rebuilding. We not rebuilding. We don't got time to play. We don't got time to waste. We're doing it right now. We're doing it right now. So with that being said, I'm fired up. I'm ready to go. I'm really ready to get on the field right now. Y'all lucky we got all these NCAA rules. I'm ready to go to work. We ain't waiting. We want to be here this year. We want to win the MEAC this year. We ain't waiting. I'm telling you right now. And these men over here know it's a certain way it got to get done. It's the facts are the facts. 2 wins in the past 2 years. Whatever was going on, we can't do that. We got to move forward, and we're going to change that first and foremost in day one. And I think we started something yesterday. Am I right?
Jackson is excited to get to work to help turn around a 2-win team from a year ago, and he also highlighted the need to keep local talent in the area.
In the conversations I had with Dr. Allen, Tony Tucker, I mean, when we was in that interview, the first thing I said is we're going to put a gate around Delaware, and not only Delaware, the closest states to it, Philly, New York, DMV, Baltimore. I mean, I played for 3 teams that's close in this area. So for me, being able to walk into somebody's house in Philadelphia that maybe 5 to 10 years ago, I did a camp for one of the kids that's maybe in high school now, is about to graduate. So I think just surrounding a gate around these areas, and obviously I don't want to talk about other areas because we know California is my home. So we're going to be able to get some California guys, Florida, Georgia. I mean, nowadays with the transfer portal and all this recruiting stuff, things are crazy. But obviously, it's a lot of guys that are getting overlooked. So I want to make sure we don't overlook them guys and give every kid an opportunity.
And we all remember DeSean Jackson for scoring touchdowns for the Eagles. But after being drafted in 2008 by Philadelphia, today he said was even more exciting time than back in 2008. 2008
was the year I was selected to the Philadelphia Eagles. And I was a young kid coming from Los Angeles, California, coming all the way to Philadelphia. Whoever thought it would lead me to where I'm at now. And now we're sitting here having a conversation. I'm the head football coach at Delaware State University. I mean, so it just shows you, if you believe in yourself and you trust in it, it's gonna be a lot of doubters. When they made this pick and this selection right here, this feel better than draft day. This feel better than draft day, I promise you. This is another experience of my life. And one thing about it, I don't know everything, I don't know all the right answers. But guess what, I'm gonna work hard until I get them, promise you that.
And it's definitely exciting to have D-Jack back in the area. Good things on the horizon here for Delaware State. Now to the hardwood and our high school basketball score recap courtesy of the DIAA. So let's take a look at the boys' scores first from this past week, January 4th to January 7th here, as you see some teams picking up some W's. Archmere over Tatnall, Newark Charter gets a win over McCain. A battle of number 1 versus number 2, Sanford over Dover in that one, 42-38, as the Warriors take down the defending state champs. William Penn over Tower Hill, Odyssey over Hesperia, and then St. Andrews, a team to look out for. They get a win over Charter, and then Wilmington Friends and Great Oaks with some other wins there on the boys' side. And now to the girls' side, here's their results from the first week of 2025. Padua with a win over Tatnall, Tower Hill over St. Mark's, DMA and Caravel picking up wins, Friends over Red Lion, Sanford a huge win over Tatnall, 60-12. They'll be in the mix again this year. Ursuline taking on a very tough Paul the 6th team in New Jersey. Ursuline still your top team here in Delaware. And then Tower Hill over Newark Charter, 49-34. And with those results, not a lot of shifting in the 302 Sports rankings this week due to a lot of the out-of-state tournament play during the holidays. But here we go, and we're going to start with the boys Super 7 here on your screen. Both of them are going to be your screen at the same time. The boys will be on your left. Sitting at the top is Sanford. Dover still in that 2 spot after the tough loss to the Warriors. St. Elizabeth's a really young team. They're up to number 3. St. Andrews, as I mentioned before, a team to look out for at 4, followed by St. George's, Odessa, Salesianum, Middletown, Apo, and Howard rounding out your top 10 there. Now we're going to take a look to the right side of your screen and the girls' rankings. As we mentioned earlier, Ursuline still at number 1, Sanford at number 2, Caravel Buccaneers at 3, St. Elizabeth's 4, Padua, Smyrna, and Cape at 5, 6, 7, and then Howard, DMA, and Middletown at 8, 9, 10. Now to the pros. It's a big weekend coming up, and the NFL playoffs are set to get underway on Saturday. But Sunday, that is the big day here in the area. Number 2 seed in the NFC, our Philadelphia Eagles will welcome the Green Bay Packers in Super Wildcard Weekend, a rematch of the season opener in Brazil in which the Birds won 34-29. Jalen Hurts has been progressing through the concussion protocol, hasn't played since early in that game against the Commanders over 2 weeks ago, but Hurts was able to take the field Wednesday in a limited capacity, a great sign for his availability for Sunday. And even though a lot has changed since that Week 1 matchup in Brazil, the Eagles are hoping for the same result. Kickoff between the Packers and the Eagles is set for 4:30 p.m. on Fox at the Link. Matt, back to you.
All right, with big headlines from the gridiron to the hardwood this week and Eagles playoff excitement heating up in the city, it's clear that 2025 is off to an exciting start for sports fans. Nick, thank you so much. And that's going to do it for this edition of DETV News. Be sure to follow us all across your favorite social media platforms for updates on what's happening all around Delaware. And if you have a comment, question, news, or a sports tip for Nick, you know where to send it. Contact us at press@detvch.com. For Shakara, Nick, and all of us here at DETV, I'm Matt Ford. We'll see you right back here next week. Good night. We don't talk about prostate cancer enough, and it's the most diagnosed form of cancer and the second most common cause of cancer death among Black men in both Delaware and the United States. Approximately 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime, but just by asking your healthcare provider if you should get a screening could help you detect prostate cancer early and save your life. So let's talk about it. Talk to your healthcare provider today about a prostate cancer screening if you are 40 years of age or older, or have a family history of prostate cancer. If you don't have insurance, or if your insurance doesn't pay for cancer screenings, Screening for Life may provide you with the screenings that you need, and Nurse Navigators make this process easier. To learn more, visit healthydelaware.org/prostate or call 211. Ask your healthcare provider about a prostate cancer screening, and you're asking for so much more.
My name is Jason Aviles, and I am the founder and owner of Fly Yogi, and I'm here to share with you some tips to be able to help fight opioid addiction. Opioid addiction is a real growing problem here in America, and I'm here to share with you some tips that you can be able to integrate into your everyday life to really fight against opioid addiction. One of the first things is redeveloping your mindset. One of the practices that I like to use daily is meditation. And what meditation does is it brings you clarity of mind, and it helps keep you grounded, and it improves your ability to make decisions that you are going to benefit from. A lot of the time we find that addiction is rooted in our mindset. It's rooted in how we think and how we perceive, and therefore how we act. So this is a really good way to help fight against that energy of addiction. The second thing is improving your lifestyle through diet and exercise. At the very root of addiction, there is substances within the body that's causing the addiction on a physical level. When we begin to introduce healthier foods, plant-based foods, we begin to remove and detox the substances that are in our body that's causing and attracting the addiction. So through incorporating more fresh fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, grains, and even drinking water on a daily basis, you're going to put your body in a state where it's going to be able to fight the root causes of these addictions. The second part is exercise. Exercise is good for mood. It's good for energy. It's good to increase vitality. It's good to get your heart pumping and get your blood flowing and get oxygen moving throughout the body. So through engaging in physical exercise, complemented by incorporating healthier foods, you're putting your body and your mind in a state where it does not want what's causing these things that are manifesting negatively in your life. So addiction can really be decreased by just incorporating a healthier lifestyle through diet and nutrition, exercise, and then also making sure that you're tackling the mind through mindset, through meditation.